was actually really surprised and impressed by how easy it was to identify practical application steps. I think that the course is designed in such a lovely way that you have 8 weeks of deep dives into concepts about every single function.
They give us practical applications. They teach about it first, and then we get to choose. We get an assignment to work on that to help bring it out in our own personalities. And then we're held accountable, and then they check on you the following week. And then we go through this with all of our 8 functions. We learned so much just from that alone.
Within that, you have homework, you have reflection time. So by the time you get here, you kind of primed the pump already. Yeah. But then the 3-day experience, truly taking the time to dive even further into each individual function, allowing you to have reflection time within that yet again, and then also the opportunity for further calibration from Joel and Antonia to really kind of hone in where you specifically are in your journey. I thought that was such a brilliantly designed way to take it from abstract down more to the personal.
And you don't realize that they're going to bring out in you, if you have any type of issue that maybe you were aware of or maybe even not aware of, and it's been kind of bubbling to the surface, they can pinpoint, and they help you to refine it and to see exactly what's going on. Kind of like a mechanic looking under the hood of a car. They're looking at, the hood of your brain, so to speak, our personalities. And
Antonia and Joel always talk about finding the leverage point and the first domino that you knock over to make long-lasting impact of change. And the idea that I have found the first domino, and it's such an easy domino to identify, even though the work may be more longer term, the ability to just ting down that first domino, it feels incredibly empowering.
That is what is fascinating. And as they focus on each individual, it's not like we sit there and get to wait our turn. We are learning and growing from each individual person's experience. There's something that we all can resonate with.
Getting to be a part of the group experiencing their own individual experiences together, and being able to listen to the workshopping that Antonia was doing with each individual person, and being able to relate to certain things that so many different people were experiencing, and getting to see what the kind of the theme across a lot of different people's lives were, from completely different walks of life, different ages, like different ethnic backgrounds. Like it's really beautiful. And I think it brought people together even more, being able to see all of the similarities that we have in our experiences.
Sure. And it made me jump for joy and clap when she started running around the room. I was like, yeah. And then it also gave me permission to be I'm gonna be silly right now. You know what? I feel like laying on the ground, and each person with their own dominant function getting permission to be exactly, drop the shame and the baggage or the burden. That was the highlight. It was exciting for me and joyful.
And so, to be in a situation where it felt so safe, so compassionate, so supportive, so collaborative, and so to not only feel the benefit of what I got to work through myself, but to see that reflected in everybody else's eyes around the room, and to know, ultimately that's all thanks to this beautiful program that Joel and Antonia have created for us out of love, and being able to experience that firsthand was really meaningful.
A life coach currently. I was able to watch more how an expert like Antonia is able to navigate such waters, and really take those notes for myself. So whatever she was telling other people, I was able to also find those nuggets to apply to myself as well.
It was beautiful to see Joel and Antonia sort of in their zone of genius. Antonia's deeply analytical mind, the way that she's able to make connections, distill down to the core truth of the matter. And then Joel with just this incredible compassion and integrity and sensitivity toward everybody in the room to make sure everybody feels welcome and included in a part of the container that he creates.
Curiosity, the play, the thinking on the spot. I think I felt seen and heard in a way that I don't think I've felt in a while.
So I guess really the one thing that I took away from all of it is just a deeper connection in this community and a greater understanding of the functions as it applies to me and just the whole Myers-Briggs system.
So it really sounds like a workshop.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you're working on yourself.
Absolutely. And giving yourself permission to spend that time on yourself.
We were able to create a plan, a new path, so that it just completely opened up our future for a completely different result.
I did the ESFJ owner's manual, and that started me on the working with my co-pilot, and that began little inklings of change in my life.
I embarked on this journey to take this course thinking, okay, I've lived a little. I'm 55 right now. I could use a little clarity in my life,
I did the class, but when I decided to come to the live event, it was just sitting with my spirit and doing exactly the work that I had learned about doing from here that showed me what was the right choice for me. And it was just, it gave me some clarity.
I didn't really know much about type before then. And so I've heard it before. And then 7 months ago, I started listening to their podcast.
I took the Profiler 101 training, which led me to the 201 training, and I really had just been enjoying all the learning I'd been doing, but it had all been personality profiling with an outward focus of profiling other people, learning about other people. Obviously, I'd been learning about myself along the way, but I really enjoyed the opportunity to sign up for a program that was specifically focused on self-growth and actually taking the time to not only get into our first 4 cognitive functions, but also the last 4. I had never even visited those before. I didn't know anything about how those showed up.
I was already thinking a lot about the 8 function model and what that meant, just in application and in relation to myself.
And I think through learning how they show up for me, seeing how they show up for people that I really care about.
So knowing that that was going to be what we were applying in this program was a big part of it, but also the community. I mean, why not? Why not one more? Let's go deeper. I want to go deeper. And that's what this was. And it was a pretty easy decision to make.
The people who were already taking the class, I knew them personally. And I also heard great things about the class beforehand. And I knew that it was just a great gateway to get more deeply connected with myself. And so I was like, I'm going to take a stab at it with the people that I love. And I don't regret it at all.
Introvert and sensing, I would say 6 months ago, wasn't even on my map. And it was through starting a business and working with SI DOMs, SI auxiliaries that I was fortunate enough that they're donating their time to help me build, and the communication just wasn't there. So I started having a little okay, I'm missing something here. And then coming in this program, it's my 8th function, my demon, my daemon. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's what. And to be conscious of it now and have a plan to work on that. And it's the access through my extroverted sensing and that just continuing to open myself up to an experience.
After doing a demonstration, ranting and raving, and I was told, no, I'm not an introvert, I'm an extrovert. So now I have a whole new personality to check out and see how it fits and see how I fit into it.
Yeah. The key leverage point for me was around setting boundaries. So I think that's what I'm going to walk away with. And I have faith now that everything else in my life that I was focusing on trying to solve will fall into place after that.
I'm going to stop requiring myself to help. And be okay that
sometimes I don't want to be around people, even though I love people.
Yeah.
But be okay with that.
Yeah.
I can just allow myself to be me, and whoever comes, and whoever doesn't. So I guess it's really like a self-acceptance.
I feel like I can think about what I say what I think, and if I want to cut something out, I can do that.
I feel like I'm kind of starting now.
Yeah.
And so I feel really refreshed. I'm excited, and I have a plan, and I feel very, very optimistic. I really believe in myself.
Finding out what I want might not be like journal prompts and writing for days like I've tried to in the past. It's actually, it's experiential for me. I feel it. And so there is a part of it that might have more introverted intuition, but I think just really leaning into my extrovert intuition and that kind of experience of, oh, okay, I know this, and I'm going to go on that path right now.
I think that this course is perfect for people who have identified maybe some limitations that they've been experiencing, some roadblocks, and they're really serious about actually wanting to do the work.
And serious about understanding personality type and how to really apply it to themselves first.
Anyone who wants to get to know themselves on a deeper level, anyone who wants to actually understand all 8 of the cognitive functions and how those energies can be more represented in their own lives, what their relationship with those functions are. And anyone who wants to have a deeper relationship with others in the community, I think that they would love this course.
Anyone who is already on their personal growth journey or trying to start it or are, early on in learning type, but really have a yearning to dig a lot deeper.
I think a lot of times people will love to conceptually visit ideas, and they love to talk about things that they could potentially do, and they sort of marinate in an abstract manner about what a next step might possibly be.
Anyone who wants to see actual change and not just theorize it.
But sometimes, for various reasons, people don't actually necessarily want to actually take the steps. And whether that's fear, whether that's just discomfort, not actually knowing what that means, or the truth of it is, sometimes when you take those steps, it's scary because if you open the door, you have to look and see what's on the other side. And sometimes that's a little nerve-wracking.
Whether it's, the choice of what kind of job or career should I have, or whether it's relationships, like who should be my friend, who should be my mate, and if they notice patterns, or even if you don't notice, but maybe you just notice always this prevailing sense of anxiety or unhappiness, and you have this little inkling of what it might be, but you kind of don't want to go there.
Understanding that although those first few steps may be scary, I cannot imagine a more collaborative, positive, compassionate, safe place to open that door and confront what's on the other side, because you're not doing it alone. You're literally surrounded by people who care. You're surrounded by 2 incredible guides who can take you there and help you. And then obviously coming out of the weekend, you feel incredibly empowered and ready for what's next.
This program brings the things that are in the dark into the lightness. And you need to be brave enough to embrace that, because that is gold.
So I would say anybody who is ready, excited, maybe a little nervous, but wants to make actual changes, this is perfect for them.
What I would encourage any viewers to consider is, if they're really busy, this can be a leverage point. And this is for me and not for everyone, but usually I would wait until my life circumstances were perfect to take this. And I'm actually glad that I didn't wait.
Interesting.
The second thing I'll say is, I'm also, as an INTP, not really a people person, but the personality hacker community is incredibly inviting, incredibly warm, and actually really celebrates having thinkers and kind of traditionally awkward types like me around. So I would encourage anyone who might think that's an obstacle to consider doing it.
People that are interested in getting more value than they're paying for, like head and shoulders and all that way over than what they're paying for, because these people, meaning Joel and Antonia, personality hacker, just pour themselves into you.
What I got was just an incredibly transformational experience. You know, I got so much more than what I was bargaining for, and it was all so good.
I came in with a certain expectation, and I think, as is usual with personally hyper events, I leave getting what I actually needed.
Yeah. The whole thing was a highlight? Does that count?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's an experience that you will never forget.
And what I'm taking away from this is that I live in these people's hearts and minds, and I'm here in my own heart and mind.
We don't just experience this. We walk away from the program with knowing how we've been living our lives. And if you're stuck in a cycle, or you're unhappy for some reason, or maybe you know why you're unhappy, you just can't change it, you kind of have this blueprint, like this map on how to move forward. And that's just so transformational. It's just, it's kind of priceless to me, this experience. Yeah. And it accelerates anybody who is interested in personal growth, shaves off years from your growth.